Good morning, boys and girls. Good morning for me, good afternoon for you. It is 6:30 in the morning here in New Zealand, and I've just woken up. We're now live in the markets, trading volume profile in the S&P 500 futures, and look at her go. So we are quick analysis here. Didn't take much to see. We are far above all the value highs, previous day value highs, previous week value highs, overnight value highs, and we are rocketing up. So we are currently trading only using the current session volume profile levels as confluence if we take any trades here today, because all the other confluences are left behind in the dust. We've traded far away. A nice push to the upside here. Let me just fix my screen. It looks like I can't see price on screen properly. There we are. That's better. That's better. Yeah, so we are far and above. So what I do in these situations when I'm trading is I will take, if you guys are familiar with my grading system, trade grading system, I'll take C-ranked trades here, which means if I do wish to trade, I'll trade off a single confluence, but using only 25% of my usual risk. A C-rank trade gets 25%, a B-rank gets 50%, and A-rank gets 100% of my risk tolerance. And the way I rank these is an A rank is 3 confluences or more, B rank is 2, a C rank is 1. And because we're away from my other confluences, which are your previous day's levels, which I use to take and formulate trade ideas, these are trading purely off the current session profile, which means scalps. Only scalps and only low risk because we are only using single confluences here. The good thing is, though, we can tell we're certainly in a trend. It is towards the end of the day, of course. So, potentially we may see some pullbacks here. But overall, the trend is obviously bullish, right? So the best, almost obvious play is to wait for decent pullback opportunities. I don't like to trade point of control personally, especially the current day point of control, unless I have a very good idea in mind, or unless it's towards the end of the day we break away and we pull back for a little retest, for example. But the best play here is to wait for, in my opinion, would be to wait for either a pullback towards one of these nodes just below the point of control. As you can see, that's where the last little pullback found its support. Or even better, if there was a big pullback, this is the most significant potential support area down here. So that's what I can see for today. If we continue to push to the upside, then potentially this little node here. If we break out the value highs, potentially that node may be a support area. So let's wait and see where price goes for that. Otherwise, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, man. Good to see some old names in here. Good to see some old names, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Cayman here for the USA as well. What's up, Cayman? Tyler Tix, awesome. Took the course. Rock solid. What's your favorite time to trade Asia session in NQ or ES? Favorite time to trade Asia session, Tyler? I trade Asia normally getting a trade around 7:30 and 8 p.m. And I'll trade ES mainly. I used to trade NQ, but I just like to switch between them, right? I go between ES, NASDAQ, and gold. At the moment, I'm primarily trading ES and gold. I've taken a break from NASDAQ since the Trump re-election just because it got really wild. But I haven't looked at it for a little while. Mechanics alone, it's been so long since I last streamed. You have a kid now. Damn, congrats on the kid, man. That's a long time. I think the last time we did the American streams was February, March this year. So yeah, man, congrats on the new child. That's crazy. Valentina, what's up? Beerless Bully. Oh, I thank you, Cayman. How many funded accounts do you have? Hey, how many funded accounts you have? Do you have reserve accounts? Enrico, I trade all my funded accounts just the same. I don't keep any as reserves. Obviously, I have now a live funded account with Take Profit Trader. That's the only one that I kind of treat a little bit differently. But other than that, I trade all the funded accounts the same. The slight different rules being Apex accounts, I take profit more quick because my Apex accounts as a whole are still fighting the intraday trailing. Some of them are above it, but a few of them are behind. So because I copy trade them, I take small scalps. Take profit trader accounts have beaten the intraday trailing. They're fine. I trade those normally, as in if I need to hold a trade, I will. But even still, my general approach to trading is just to take profit and move on. I don't really hold big trades for very long. I go in with decent size on an A rank, good size, and get out. Chris, yes, in regards to do I use market structure or pure order flow and volume, I use no market structure. And in terms of order flow, no order flow concepts, but we got to understand order flow to understand the volume profile. But trading strictly off volume profile, it is something you can add to and use in confluence with other strategies if you still wanted to use market structure or whatever. But that's the way the course is framed, is like, here's the way to use it. Here's how I use it. I trade it purely using volume profile, but it can be in addition to an existing strategy. So for example, some people still like to use VWAPs and moving averages or market structure. Some even use ICT still, but just combine it with volume and have been having better success with that. So, better success than trading ICT alone. Lon says, I'm about to start Apex, but so concerned about the payout. I'll tell you what, Lon, I was the same, right? Before I partnered with them, and I only partner with props that I personally use myself. So did my research. From what I see with Apex about payouts is that their payout rules are more difficult. They're not actually that difficult, but there's just more rules to keep track of. As long as you follow the rules to the T and follow their consistency rules, you're going to be fine for payouts. The people who get interviewed and they're like, send us a video of you trading and you doing a strategy, are people who are engaging in more, potentially gambling-esque behavior, or people who are taking advantage of sim fills. People who raise those red flags. But, if you're trading normally and you're not trying to take advantage of sim and, you're not tilting, trying to full port the funded accounts, just trade normal, take consistent base hits. I think that's the key to all major Apex funded traders, is they just take consistent base hits across the 20 accounts. That's how you get people like Jade Cap and Trader Kane. These guys they're just taking base hits on a consistent basis, and then they, build up a balance to take out those 6-7 figure payouts. Obviously the exception, not the rule, but that's what's possible, but you got to keep them to base hits only. I've also had no trouble either. Louis Silver, what's up, man? Yeah, Micronesian, we got NY streams on. So here we are, we're pulling back to a high volume node here now. This is not a trade I'm going to take because it's very high up in the premium end of the profile, but just something to watch for to see if it finds support and continues up. It's end of the day, like I said, so you got to think about end of day characteristics as well. When price has only been pulling up, you can expect some of these positions to be closed from the bigger players and have this price pull back a little bit. That's the typical, so we can wait and see for that. I'm personally waiting to see if we pull back towards below point of control for some support below there. And obviously, like, the ultimate discount play here would be if it pulls back to this node. But that's a big pullback, if so. So let's wait on that 3 o'clock, that power hour, to begin for a potential trade up here. Valentino, yes, go into your Tradeovate settings and click the add-ons settings, and you should be able to see there if the level 2 data add-on is activated. Check that. Yeah, footprint, Louis Silver, that's the other one. Footprint and volume profile, a powerful combination as well. Chifaroni, passed my first 50K eval using your volume profile vids, working towards first payout. Congrats, man. JR, I need some advice. I was trading ICT for about 2 years and feels like I wasted my time. How did you move on from ICT after feeling like you wasted so much time, been trading 3 years? Yeah, JR, it's a good question. It's a common question, and it's actually an answer that you would not expect. It was very easy to move on from ICT. I'd been trading ICT when I took on volume profile and order flow. I'd been trading ICT for 3 years, almost 3 years. And as soon as I learnt the mechanics of order flow and volume profile and how the markets really move, it was almost like an overnight thing. Just that same week, I was able to just be like, okay, I'm throwing it all out. Because learning order flow and volume profile disproved and contradicted a lot of the ICT stuff I learned and actually had proof to back it up versus ICT who just claims things without much proof, right? I'm not going to go on an ICT rant here, but it was easy for me to make the switch, seeing the proof behind order flow and volume and seeing, okay, this is real. It's not something made up. There's no theory or conspiracy theory. It's real. And then also seeing that that's how all professional traders trade, using order flow, volume in some sense or in a very heavy sense. So it was easy for me to be like, okay, I'm just going to go all in on this. And yeah, like that first week, I just stopped seeing fair value gaps and, previous sweeps and session sweeps and all this. I reckon the session sweeps are something, still have something to them, but it was easy to just be like, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to that anymore. M, what's up? I'm new to volume profile. Would you be favoring longs below current POC of shorts as it shows bearish bias / momentum, but prices at a discount, so buying makes sense? Yes, M, this is where you have to use that context building to decide. Now, I could be wrong, and, it could be that we melt down, but based on what I can see, strong bullish trend, previous days value highs, previous week value high, overnight value high have all been completely traded away from. So the market's been seeking new value, and that new value we can see shown on the volume profile here. These new areas of value. The market has been finding value at higher and higher prices. We found value initially at those premium prices, as you can see by the cluster of volume. Moved up, found value at the value high, broke away, moved up, found value in this pocket here, a lot of value here. Still broke away from that and have now found value in this pocket. Now, there's no breakaway from here yet, but this is the current level of value. So because we've put in like 1, 2, 3, almost 4 pockets of value above the value highs, shows very strong bullish momentum here, as you can also see on the price chart. So if price was to pull below point of control, I'd be viewing that as a short-term discount to look to get long. So the trick there would then be, okay, do we take the long at this above fair value, which is a premium entry point? I don't like that. So that's out of the picture for me. Unless we break value highs and pull away from this section of value, then that may be a potential entry. But while we're in this upper area of the profile, that'll be a no. So the next logical area to look for an entry will be here. This will be a slight discount. High volume node just below point of control. Slightly in discount. Anything below fair value gap, everything below fair value, not fair value gap, is a relative discount, right? With the best discount being value low and below. So we've got 1, 2 high volume nodes to look at. So I'm personally going to favor longs if we pull below point of control, just because of the general context. If this profile was a balanced profile, then, below the point of control would, you could seek bearish plays, but this is certainly not balanced. So favoring longs in this case. We'll see where we pull back to, if we pull back at all, and then try and look for an entry on those nodes. What is the volume profile indicator? Mine anchored VP on trading shows red and blue color. Yes, you got to change the settings. Same indicator. Just change your settings. These are my settings for the volume profile. There's your technical settings, then my style settings. Just pause that. Size of the bars there, Jamie, are 1,000. Set them to 1,000. If you got them on the default, it's going to look all blocky and ugly like this. This is the default for trading view, and that looks like shit. So we have that set nice and high. How long did it take me to get my first payout? Been about 3 years for me, not one payout, JR. Damn. My first payout was a long time ago, JR. It was actually with FTMO. Back in the day, before I even traded ICT, I traded using just a Bollinger Bands and RSI, and yeah, man, I had a small payout with FTMO, but that took me maybe a year and a half, 2 years, right? And that payout was a total fluke at the time. I didn't know what I was doing back then, but then from that first payout, I had no payouts again until I started trading ICT. About a year later, I got my next payout with the Fivers. Remembers that Forex prop firm? And then, yeah, from then I moved on to futures, had some payouts with ICT with Top Step, switched to volume profile, had many payouts with Top Step, and then moved on to using other props and my personal accounts. And yeah, it's been good, really good since then. But yeah, that first payout took a long time, and that first payout was a gamble play using RSI and Bollinger Bands. Bradley, what's up, man? Anything below fair value guess, we got him. Do you suggest you learn the DOM? I suggest you learn how the DOM works. I don't suggest you necessarily use it as a trading strategy. I do suggest you learn how it works. I like to get my entries off the DOM, and it's a lot nicer to use for entries and exits. It's also good to see in spot liquidity. It's kind of squished here at the moment. Let me just pull it across. It's good for spotting liquidity. There we are. And good to see, if you see the numbers on here, the negative numbers show pulling, or the positive numbers show stacking, and it just shows the behavior of passive buyers and sellers and what levels they're putting out of and putting into, piling into. Which can help you if you're trading momentum in the moment. Dragon Malik from school, what's up? What's up, Malik? Good trades lately, my friend. Good trades. Would I ever make my old live streams live? Used to watch it to gain knowledge. Yes, M. I had a private playlist with all the old ones on there. And I had removed them because in those live streams, a lot of the time, the way I was trading in there was more aggressive using the volume profile. Like if you guys remember, I was trading every setup, trying to really push on the evals and funded accounts. And people would I'd get emails like, so should I trade with 10 contracts, and should I take this setup and this setup and this setup? And I was like trying to push the point. No, I'm just trading on those streams. I was just trading for the stream, for some action, and pushing really hard on the evals and fundeds. But this is not how you should actually approach trading with the funded accounts in the volume profile. So I can make them live with a little disclaimer being like, this is not how you should actually approach trading the volume profile. But yeah, there was still some good sauce in those videos. Ron, what's up, man? Do I follow Rihari FX Kiwi Trader? Yes, I've followed him on YouTube, yeah. So many people trying to short the top, no doubt. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, we'll be doing New York session streams basically for the near future. All week, this week will be the PM session. And then into, when's October? In the second week of October, we'll be doing AM sessions as well, which will be cool. We'll trade the open for a couple weeks. I'll be in both Australia and Japan. So the morning open will be a good time for him to trade at that time. So yeah, not much movement across these highs here. That's what I mean. Better to wait for a kind of a bit of pullback towards a discounted area, or just to see if this breaks out and then find support along these highs across here. For now, just holding up at these highs right now. You can see a lot of activity here, a lot of volume being put in. No movement yet. Believe you me, short of a 12 ticks. Nice. Shaban, yes, you can backtest with the volume profile. You absolutely can. You can backtest with the order flow, but you're gonna have to use a different platform other than TradingView. But I would, if I was you, backtest the volume profile, right? If backtest the setups I've shown in the videos, and just watch how it works. So draw your profile, draw the levels, then draw a developing profile throughout the day and draw it across to see the setups that happen and backtest that. Very hard to backtest order flow itself. You'll need some sort of rhythmic platform to backtest the live order flow if you're doing that, taking that route. But if you're just backtesting volume profile, you can do that all in TradingView. Never go beyond 5 points on the ES, just size it according to ATR. Nice pie, yeah. I'm similar to you, man. I'm typically taking 3 points on the ES, but that's during my overnight sessions. So I'm gonna see. I haven't traded New York for a little while. We'll see what kind of, I might have to use 5 points as well. Obviously, bigger volatility in the ES in the New York sessions. 3 points is not bad, but 5 points gives a bit more breathing room. You can get away with 3 points during those overnights because the volatility is way smaller, but yeah, man. Let's see, we're almost at 3 o'clock here, so we can pull away from this high, hopefully. Page to purpose. Yes, it's not a Discord, it's a school group, school page. So I sent out emails for everyone who's used the course, taken the course before. The school group, it should be, check your spam inbox if it's not there. If it's not in your inbox, check your spam and look for an email that mentions school, SKOOL. A lot of people found it in the spam inbox because it's, classed as a promotional email. So check that out. David, what's up, man? Long time no see. Nice to see you, my friend. Power hour soon. God's battle. Yes, man. Yes, yes. By the way, God's battle, you had a question before. Do I, Project X versus Tradeovate? I choose Tradeovate. I used to like Project X when it first came out. It was an interesting tool until I found out who was behind it, and I started to have issues with slippage, which wasn't cool. But other than that, I like the features on Project X. But yeah, it's run through I don't know if you know who Plus 500 is, but it's basically their platform, or their data, I should say, which, again, is a little bit questionable. Here we go. We might be breaking away. Let's see if this can push new highs here, if it fades off. This is the moment of truth. It is almost power hour. Let's see. So, again, for me, I'm looking for a minor trade. If we find support below POC here, it'd be my first little level of potential support. And again, if we get a massive pullback, then down here, which would be crazy to ask, but we never know. And then if we pull away from the tops here, we break out, I'll be looking for pullbacks back into this. This is no longer a standalone node, but pullbacks back to the value high will be a potential play. Beer Bob, do I journal my trades? Good question. I don't journal them in the traditional sense. I journal them. I actually print out the trades I have. You guys in the school group will know the template I use, but screenshot the trade, annotate, write down the confluences, the trade rank, the total take home for the trade, and then any emotional notes or any contextual notes around the trade. And I have them printed out in a playbook. I have a trade playbook I keep for myself and just refer to that. You know, as a trader, sometimes you have points where your confidence might get low. I haven't had that so far this year. It's been a pretty good run of volume profile, but it's good to refer to these things to reinforce your system and your confidence. And I just use the built-in stuff, built-in tools in my personal account. And also for the funded accounts, I don't really track the funded account stats. I just track my expenses. How much have I spent on evals? How much have I taken in payouts? Other than that, I'm not tracking any stats or anything in the funded accounts. I had a question once a week. If you're ever free anytime, do you think you can go live with a school group and review people's trades live for like an hour? I think that's a good question, Dragon. That's actually a good point. I was thinking of doing a weekly overview type thing in the school, Dragon or Malik. I was thinking of doing a weekly overview at the start of the week on Sundays. But because that only takes like 10 minutes, yeah, we could also do some live trade reviews. That'll be interesting. Here we are, pushing away a bit. Do you ever consider HOD and VAH current lined up to be any sort of conviction, high of the day and value high? No, not necessarily, David. I consider that to be a single point of confluence, right? And the way that I would use this here, for example, is if we noticeably broke away from the high of day and then pulled back, I would view that value area high and edge of volume as potential support. All right, risky play, but that's what I'd look at that as. But you'd need to see a meaningful break away from here for that to be looked as support. For now, it's just a little peak above the highs, a little peak above the value high. We've got to see if it can sustain and find activity up here, find, buyers and sellers to agree up in this pocket and then find support across the value high. If not, I suspect this will pull back to at least point of control. Do I check my email to someone else? I check it on and off, Blaze, but yes, I do have someone checking that for me for the most part. I'm terrible with emails and messages. Anyone who's messaged me or emailed me before can attest to that. But please do, if you have anything queries, etc., don't be afraid to email. It's just whether I get it or not. I'll be on. I've got to check my emails today. There's a few I've marked to respond. A few of you guys asking about. Someone bought the course like 3 times by accident. I don't know how that happened, but if you're watching right now, I will refund your other 2 purchases. Don't know how that happened, and then I have to respond to someone else who asked for access to school. That's it. So yes, try an email. My funded futures, good or bad? I heard good things about my funded futures, Adam. I haven't personally used them before, but I've heard good things. If there is a reinforced value area, say value low, does that make it B rank setup as there's a high volume node and value area low both? Amrit, yes and no. If it's just from the developing profile, I consider that less so compared to, see, for a B rank, I'd want to have, like this, for example. You want to have current volume with a previous day level. If it's the current session value low plus high volume node, I don't necessarily consider that a reinforced level. It's got to be with a previous day or previous week or overnight level. Nice, Voltron. Okay, I got to give them a go, man. I got to give them a go. I know that they're one of the most affordable. MFFU. Elia, this session is good. When I do because I look at the profile every day when I come into trade, the overnight session, and I look at the New York session just to see what setups occurred over the New York. And a lot of the time around 2:30 p.m., you find some good setups happening in the volume profile. And then right before 4 p.m., so like 10 to 4, you find a decent setup as well. So we're not in the unlucky zone yet. We still got some time. Nothing happened around 2:30 today, being at the highs, but closer to 4 p.m., oftentimes you see a good setup. I really like the end of the day, aside from it just being, a workable hour for my time zone. I like the end of the day because you can often get some really nice end of day pumps or melts. But yes, you have to sit through about an hour of paint drying like this. Do I prefer ES over the NQ? At the moment, Clay, yes. But I don't mind. They're both similar, right? So I'll give you the benefits of ES over NQ for me, though. Just a couple minor things. The ES, if you're trading using the DOM or time and sales, the order flow is a lot easier to read in the ES because it's thicker, it's slower, easier for a human to take in, right? NQ, order flow goes crazy. And because it's so thin, you're like 5 to 10 contracts per level. It's super quick, super thin. It's moving really fast. You can read the order flow on NQ, but it's a bit too fast. Also, the NQ tends to wick out a lot. So if there's a nice volume profile level I'm looking at, could have a really good trade idea, but because the NQ can wick so wildly, it may stop me out because I use rather tight stops personally. So it may stop me out more often than not. So yeah, I have a slight preference to the ES, but I tend to switch between ES, NQ. I'll alternate year by year. Last year I traded NQ. This year I've been trading ES and gold. And for a brief period of time, about 6 months, I was also trading oil. So yeah. Do I trade C setups unfunded? Yes, but again, with 25% of my risk. Jamie Salgado, yes, we're really live, my friend. Thank you, man. 4 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, Mike Onesian, correct. What time do I mark my previous day value high from? Lower Volt, so it's always the same times. Previous day levels are the previous regular trading hours. So because we're regular trading hours now, it's the most recent 9:30 to 4 p.m. session. So that is your Friday, 9:30 to 4. I then pull those previous day value high, POC, VAL levels. And then I mark out the most recently closed overnight. So that'll be the one just from tonight. Overnight high, point of control, value low. Then I also mark out, you're about to see volume profile galore here, all the way back, the weekly levels as well. All the way back. Is this it? Yeah. Then your weekly volume profile level, which goes from Sunday 6 p.m. of the previous week all the way through to Friday 5 p.m. and then pull those across. Holding steady at these highs here for now. No real movement, but we're holding steady. Might be towards the end of the session we get a sit-up. Keep watching. What time is it for me? I can hear an accent. Yes, it is 7:08 in the morning on a Tuesday here in New Zealand. New Zealand. Andrew Backer, biggest amount I've ever withdrawn in total for a month on prop firms. That's probably back in. Oh, no, that's not true. February, March. I think it was March. March, I took out 17K from Top Step, and I also took out 6K from an FX prop firm. I still trade Forex, but I don't talk about them on the YouTube because I know you guys in the States can't trade CFDs. And yeah, it's got kind of a scammy name to it. So yeah, total of 23K. Nothing, I just primarily trade my personal account. But yeah, that was probably my biggest take this year from Forex, from futures. 17K from Top Step total. And that was the last I traded with them. Sai, no worries. Sai, that was the email. I'm going to get back to you, Sai. I got your email this morning when I woke up. I'll get back to you this afternoon. How many points do I scalp on gold? 3 points, Jonathan. Typically 3 points. Do I ever short VAH like now? Do I need another confluence? Yes, Rain. I short the VAH quite often. But when you're in a totally bullish scenario like this and there's no other confluences, it's not really a good idea to short. It's totally counter trend and counter volume. So we were gotta wait to see where this goes. It could be a good short, right? But there's no other confluence for me to want to take that. There's more support for long trade ideas if we pull back versus shorting this. I would short a value high if there was other confluences like previous day value levels and previous high volume nodes that have been put in from the current profile. But as it is, we've got nothing but the value high, which just means we're making high of day. So tough to short these. What amount of capital do you need to trade SPX 500 on Black Bull? Not much, Brett. I remember when I was first starting to use Black Bull back in the day, I was trading with only $1,000. So that's NZD as well. So not much. All right, we are moving. Starting to get a bit of action here. Pushing higher. It is 11 past 3. Let's go. A bit of volume here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's get it high. So I want to see a nice breakaway and then find support across the value high if that's where this is going to continue going. Or we'll see a nice fake out and then a pullback towards point of control. So this will be moment of truth here. So my game plan here when we push above highs like this is not to buy the first retest of the value high, but to see if it finds support. Because typically it won't just tap and go. It's going to push up, come back, kind of teeter around, and then if it finds support at these levels, then I might add a contract or two to that. But you want to wait and see how it behaves. We've got a nice bit of volume that just entered the market there, so let's see if this can move price. Otherwise, I'm expecting this to pull back towards point of control at least, and then potentially the ideal trade for me here today is to find a pullback to this kind of lower portion below POC, this sort of node here before it drops off to the low volume area, and try and catch a bounce off that. Trading at the moment, by the way, my Take Profit Trader funded account, not the live, but the Pro. Not the Pro Plus, the Pro. So we'll probably get at least one trade this afternoon. Yeah, for sure, ZD. I'm currently doing that. I'm using, it would dwarf the prop record payout. Absolutely. That's what I'm working on, man. So I'm trading Apex at the moment. I currently have 12 fundeds with Apex, and I'm working on the rest. And yeah, just hitting base hits and making sure I keep my consistency on. And yeah, that's my goal this year is to pump that. Well, I'm aiming at 100K payout first, but obviously I want to try and hit those. See if I can catch Trader Kane and what's his face? What's his name? What's the Asian dude's name? ICT guy. Jade Cap. Mr. Jade Cap. But yes, I'm absolutely on the Apex train. That's why I'm partnered with them this year, is because I see the power. They're hard, not recommended for newbies, but they have a unique opportunity, and I'm on it. Do I use minis on 50K accounts? Yes, God's Battle. Yes, I do. Still keeping, it's less about what contracts I use, more about what I risk, right? So on a 50K account, I'm risking up to 500 a day. So as long as I can keep within that 500, I might use 1, 2, 3, 4 contracts, you know? Will I trade gold on any of these streams? Yes, absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. When I do London sessions, we look at gold. We didn't catch any trades last week, but if anyone tunes into London, the gold is something we'll be trading in the London sessions when we pull those. It's going to be New York for the near future, just because of my schedule, traveling around a bit and moving house. So, yes, it'll be a little bit skewed towards New York for the next little while. By the way, if you get likes up to 150, bare minimum, we'll do some giveaways. I got Apex and Take Profit Trader accounts to give away. So just throw those likes up, get that 150 like, and we'll start giving away some accounts while we're waiting for a setup to form here. I've been letting go of ICT, but keep using breaker blocks. Thoughts, should I stop? Nothing wrong with necessarily using breaker blocks, M. You know, if it's something you still are drawn to and you see some power or some edge behind, nothing wrong with it. All I say to people who still want to use ICT concepts is just add volume behind it. That's all you got to do. Add volume, filter out the bad trades, and, you know, start to validate some more decent trades. Does Apex have a live account they can move you to, or can you trade 20 accounts indefinitely? You know what? Undetermined Cool, I know they technically have a live. I've not seen or heard of anyone move to live with Apex. So I believe it may just be a formality. There we are. Value high has shifted. Let's see if we get a pull off the highs here. Nice bit of pullback here. Let's go. Yes, Vino, absolutely. I'll check my emails after the stream. Anyone who's emailed me, I'll work through the emails after the stream. I don't typically check my emails myself, but I will work through. I saw a couple this morning when I signed in, so. So yeah, let's see if we get a proper pullback here. We jabbed into those highs there, put in a bit of volume, little pullback. Come on, power hour, give us some power. Do I think Apex is more for experienced traders? Typically, yes, Kaylee, but you know, it's not that hard. It's not as hard as people say. If you are a newer trader and you understand the Apex rules, you're probably not going to have an issue. You just got to make sure, if you're trading Apex, you got to make sure that you are taking profit, setting smaller base hit targets and taking profit regularly, because that intraday trailing drawdown can be hard for noobs. It's easy enough to beat, right? You just got to take smaller trades, take profit, and then just get past the threshold, then you're sweet. Once you're past that threshold plus $100 with the Apex accounts, it's easy. Easy. And also you got to be consistent. So trade the same size, the same size, same take profit. That's what I've been doing. Just the same 3-point move every day. 3-point win, 3-point loss, 3-point win, 3-point loss, whatever it is. But I always take the same size, 3 contracts, 3 points over and over again. It's a long game I'm playing with Apex. Louis, just some emails for access to the school group and emails for a guy who bought the course 3 times in a row. I'm not sure why he did that or how that happened, but I need to refund him twice. Philip, no trades yet, man. Just waiting. We've just been holding around these highs for the last almost hour now. Yeah, all-time highs, eh? Shit. Everyone's investment portfolio is doing nice this year. Am I trading gold on personal only? No, also on the funded accounts. If you guys saw my video last week taking 10K from Take Profit Trader, one of those days I traded gold. I traded gold on PPI. It was a very nice trade. Right off the point of control, PPI news release, massive trade. I love PPI. PPI is the one news event that I'm really, I always trade PPI. I have no problem trading PPI. It reacts to the volume levels real nice, but I only trade it on a funded account, not on a personal account. Nice, we're at 150 likes. Yes. Yes. All right. All right. I am. Let's go here. Let's get this giveaway going. Okay. I am going to. I'm going to post a. It's straight. You can trade PPI. The only ones you can't trade with Take Profit Trader for news is FOMC CPI and FOMC CPI. What's the other one? There's one more. But PPI you can. All right. Giveaway time. Posting a link in the chat. What you need to do is click on that link, vote on the poll there, TPT or Apex, and then comment TPT or Apex. Okay, and then I'm going to select a random commenter from that post. So not in the chat, but in the post. And I will select a random winner for either an Apex or a TPT account. So go hard. Click on that link I just posted. Go vote. I'll give you guys 5 minutes, and then I will choose a winner, a random winner. Yes, Sean, see, the course is more in depth and more structured. Bjorn, if I win, I get the course. Well, we will do a course giveaway at some point this week. So yes, go click that post. Go vote on the post. Oh, make sure you like the post as well. Of course. Shit, man. 82 comments already. You guys are quick. What other order flows tools do I use other than DOM and VP? Mohammed, I do have Bookmap, but to be honest with you, I don't really refer to it much anymore these days. It's a good tool, but I don't really. I take a minimalist approach in my trading. I've found a lot of good tools that are really useful, but then just stripped away things I don't necessarily need. And Bookmap is one of the ones I do keep open on my screen here, but I'm not really referring to it. Unless there's a major level of liquidity I'm looking at, it's doesn't factor into my decisions. Payouts giveaway. Yeah, Chris, no way to trade volume profile for free, I don't believe. It is a paid tool, unfortunately. Level Sport, which sessions? This is the New York afternoon session, and we'll be doing this session live all week this week. So yeah, a little bit of a fail, not going to say fail break out there, but a bit of a weak break right there. So we'll see if I'm waiting on this potential pullback. If we can get one before the close, it'd be perfect. Is trading my full-time job? Yes, Level Sports. Trading is one of the things I do full-time. I do make a full-time income from it, but of course, I make an income from this YouTube channel. And I also have, I'm a part-time porn star, boys and girls. Would you believe it? No, I have another business as well, which I'm not working so much on these days. This year, my trading income exceeded my affiliate income, which is nice, from the YouTube channel. But it depends on the month, eh? But yeah, trading, YouTube, and my other business. So yeah, man. I went into trading back in the day, 8 years ago now, almost. Come March next year will be 8 years. I went into the trading thing with the idea that I would never do it only full-time because I didn't want to only rely on trading as my income, because obviously you have periods of drawdown and that can mess with you mentally. So I've always said to myself, trading will be one of the things I do. So yeah. Okay. DK England, hello, nice to see you. Let's have a look at this giveaway now, okay? I think it's been 5 minutes. Let's have a look. I'm going to select a random, let me just do a random number generator here. Random number generator. 1, 2, how many comments we got on that post? I will announce the giveaway in this chat. 1, 2, 1, 8, 3, okay. Okay. Number 151. Let me have a look. So our lucky winner today, Adam CR2173. Does that CR stand for Cristiano Ronaldo? Adam CR in the chat. Adam CR2173. Are you in here, my friend? If you are in here, Adam, can you please, if you have an Instagram, my friend Adam, can you please write down your username in the chat here, and I will message you for the giveaway. Adam CR. Yes, there he is, Adam. Cristiano Ronaldo, let's go. Let's go, Adam. Don't worry, I'll be giving away accounts every day, boys and girls, so we got them every day. If you didn't win today, you might win tomorrow. The main thing is just watch, tune in and watch. All right, we're pushing back up near the highs here now. Did he win a car? An $800 Toyota Civic. Toyota Corolla, not Toyota Civic. Adam. Where do I contact you, my friend? Or you can contact me. My Instagram is at It's Cam Narayan. At It's Cam Narayan on Instagram. Just message me, Adam, and show me it's you. And I will message you after the stream and give you your free Take Profit Trader account. Congrats, man. Doug, what's up? Been a while. Yeah, man, I'm doing good, my friend. Nice to see you. Pratik, to get your volume profile to follow the price action, double-click the volume profile, click Extend Right. And that'll follow automatically. Can you win more than once, Cam? Yes, Eddie, absolutely. What time frame do I trade? 1 minute. Damn, Derek Lee, you just missed it. Just missed it. Tomorrow. We got them every day. Yes, Doug. Well, at least all this week will be Power Hour, and then a portion of next week will be Power Hour. And then the following 2 weeks, I'll be trading the morning session. So I'll be trading the New York Open. Potentially, I might do 8:30 because I like, when I'm trading New York, I like that earlier morning, that 8:30ish. If you look at today's 8:30, around here, 8:30 got a nice trade off the value area low of the overnight. I see that quite often is around 8:30 you get a really nice play off the volume profile levels. So it was like at the time perfect boom off the value area low on a C rank trade. But yeah, man, I like that 8:30 catching it before the madness. And obviously if you hold a trade from that point, you can catch some monster trades if you get a good entry around 8:30. Am I still trading on Top Step? No, I'm not trading on Top Step anymore. Me and Top Step broke up big time. But I still think Top Step's a good beginner-friendly firm, but it's a stepping stone more than a key to trading for a living. Yeah, potentially God's Battle. We're putting in a nice shelf across here. So waiting on that pullback. What microphone am I using? This is a Shure, S-H-U-R-E. Not sure the exact model, but it's a Shure podcast microphone. What would be a step up from Top Step? The ones that I know of, right? I haven't traded all of them. I've heard good things about my funded futures, but the next step up from Top Step is Take Profit Trader. They feel like old school Top Step before all the changes. They're good. I mean, Take Profit Trader's probably got the best payout rules in the industry. And then a step up, the advanced level would be Apex. It's tougher, but much bigger opportunity. Cammy, fill me up with your capital. Why do I use the DOM from TradeVate? TradingView has its own. TradingView's DOM, Terry, I haven't used it in years, but about a year, about a year ago when I used the TradingView DOM, it was very clunky. I like the TradeVate. I like TradeVate as a platform as a whole. I just don't like the charting on TradeVate, but TradingView's got the best charting for sure. But executions, TradeVate is my favorite platform. No trades yet, Jim Jacks. We've just been sitting at all-time highs, unfortunately, since I signed in. D or F. Ideally, we don't take D or F trades, Chauncey. So the way I rank them, Chauncey, is A is 3 confluences, B is 2, C is 1. So anything less than a C will be 0 confluences, and that's a naughty boy trade. What do I think about shorting all-time highs? I think it's very, very dangerous, Thomas. All-time highs, for the most part, I want to be on side with all-time highs. I think for the most part, if price is strong enough to push and make new highs, that's not something that's easily faded. So I prefer to be on side with that. Because it's funny, if you think about retail trading, or retail traders, which is all of us, but if you think about the majority mindset these days when we reach all-time highs is to fade it. Retail wants to fade the highs. So I feel like that's how we get absolutely wrecked, is by people trying to fading highs, and meanwhile big money keeps pushing it higher. Oh my goodness, cars show luxury. See gold and NQ. Another time. Please explain the confluences used for each trade, each grade. Yeah, I use a current session profile. So I use this profile. I'll use the value levels, the point of control or the high volume nodes. That's one confluence. Then I will want to, typically, if we're not running away like this, they'll be in line with one of these value levels: previous day value high, point of control value low, or the same from the week or the overnight profile. And I'll use those in conjunction. So like a grade setup, let's use an example here, would be, thank you Voltron, thank you Louis Silva. That was going a bit crazy. A grade setup would be like, say if here, for example, let's say we had value area high of the current session was the blue line. We have a high volume node right beneath that. And then say this green line was the previous day's value high, right? So we had three confluences: premium of yesterday, premium of today, and a high volume node. And then say if price broke down below that and came back to retest, that would be my A grade entry there. We got three confluences at a premium and showing we pulled away from it. That would be an A grade trade for me, for example. That's not the case today. Today, we've only got the current session profile, so these will be C grade trades once I take a trade here. It's a single confluence trade, so C grade only. But yes, I combine the high volume nodes with the previous value levels, and then occasionally the value highs and lows of the current profile too. Nice Lego. Yeah, futures for, if you, I take it you traded Forex before that. Forex is good, but futures is definitely a cleaner market, if you want to call it that. Not having slippage, etc., is very nice. Yeah, exactly, Brent. And you know, for us ex-ICT traders, that's what you naturally want to do, is fade the highs, right? But yeah, it's, if price is strong enough to push new highs, all-time highs, yeah, it's probably strong enough to keep going. All right, we're going to get something here. 7:35, 9:35, 3:35 Eastern time. Let's see. So now that we've pushed away from this, ideal levels of a potential pullback then bounce for the end of the day. Looking around this point of control now, or that little node just below it. So what I might do here is, if we do end up pulling back to point of control, I want to look at, let's see what kind of stop that would be. 5 points. Yeah, it's not bad. I might look at like a 1-to-1 around that point of control if we pull back to there, just for a bounce. Ideal entry would actually be that lower high volume node, so I'll see how we react once we get to POC. We'll look around there. We got a big bunch of volume across here. That whole thing is a potential support area, but again, I want to take that more discounted entry for a long at these highs. So I don't want to fade the high, but I don't want to take an expensive entry. I want to get a nice, closer to fair value entry, POC being fair value. POC is the most transacted price point in a given session, which represents the point of fair value. Brokers can't manipulate futures, exactly. So you'd wait for a retest only, or would an imbalance look good to get into trade? I don't trade imbalances personally, ISO. So I'm looking for a retest. Nice hard hat, nice man. Yep, support and resistance plus volume profile, exactly. Any strategy you trade, if you add some volume profile, it's gonna improve your trading. Not financial advice, but personal opinion. Nice, Cars Show Luxury, nice, good trade today, zero drawdown. Yes, sir. Congrats, man. Shortsy. Take my D grade, keep shorting all-time highs, building the position. Hey, man, you could still be right, you know. Beautiful thing about trading. It'd go up, it'd go down. No, Lon. So what I do with my 1-to-1 trades, so my trades are typically a little bit they're technically a little bit more than 1-to-1. So I go in, so say for example, I'm looking for a 5-pointer here. If we come back down, I look for a 5-point trade. But what I'm doing is I'm adding 1 tick for fees and commission. So it's normally not a problem, right, to get that extra tick out of the market. So I say I'm a 1-to-1 trader, but I'm technically a 1-to-0.05 trader. I put 1 tick on all my 1-to-1 trades or whatever I'm targeting. Say if I want a fixed target, say if I want 3 points, sorry, not 3 points. Say if I want a 1-to-3, I don't trade 1-to-3s, but even still, I'd add a tick for fees and commissions so that I'm still net my 1-to-3, if that makes sense. All right, we're getting a pullback. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, rocks and roll. What's up? NY Session surprise. We are back in business for NY Sessions. Rocks and roll didn't short at value highs because it's shorting an all-time high. When you short a value area high, I normally will not short that unless it's a balanced profile or unless there are extra confluences. This profile is not balanced and there's no other confluences, so I'd rather not short an all-time high. Because, yeah, any type of trade shorting an all-time high, it's going to either be short-lived, no pun intended, or you're just going to get raked over. So I tend to avoid those. Waiting for a nice discounted entry here, which is closer to fair value. Micronesian. I'm blowing 15 evals now. Is that still chump change? No, man, that's chump change, Micronesian. No problem. I mean, I don't want to encourage bad habits, but that is not bad at all. Yeah, the thing with evals, Micronesian, is that they're really strict. You know, even on a bigger account, evals are quite strict. They're pretty tough. So the way I like to look at it is if you're a newer trader or, you know, you're still working towards profitability, if you can crack trading evals and you get, you know, you eventually get funded, take a few payouts. If you can crack the eval game, you're going to do even better in a personal account when you come around to it because you've learned consistency and how to trade within very small tight parameters. But yeah, no, 15 evals, I mean, as long as you're not putting yourself into debt for it like I did, I think that's relative chump change. I spent north of 20K on evals in my 8 years trading, which isn't too bad, mind you. I've heard some worse numbers. Louis, no Discord, just the school. So anyone who's taken the course, you get an option to add on community access at the end of the course. So, but yes, I don't have Discord anymore. Discord too noisy. And, you know, questions that get answered just get lost in the noise. So the school group's a bit more manageable, a bit more valuable. Slowly pulling back here. Slow pullbacks. Again, waiting for an entry closer to fair value down here. Closer to fair value or just below fair value. We can see how it reacts when it gets down. But I may start to build my position if we can pull back here. End of day, we're coming up almost quarter to 4. Might get an end of day, little Hail Mary here. How big is my risk on evals in relation to funded accounts? Kanaki, I'm not going to lie with evals. I do just full port them now. For me, trading evals takes too much time. So I just go in, try and hit, if it's a take profit trade, I'll try and hit the full 50% in one day, then 50% another day, and just keep going until they pass. Then when it comes to funded accounts, I still trade them rather aggressively. Like a funded account, let's say, for example, a 150K funded account. Initially, I'll trade slow and small just to beat the intraday trailing, which is make $4,500. Once I beat the intraday trailing, I'll then risk up to $1,000. $1,200 is actually what I've been risking on the 150Ks. $1,200 a day. But once I've risked that first $1,200, made that first 1,200, I'll then only risk the profit I made above the drawdown threshold, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, David. That's the way to look at it with evals. Like, as long as you're net positive, eventually, it doesn't really matter. It's a business expense end of the day. Tax write-off. Dun, dun, dun. JC Moreno, my friend, in Auckland traffic. Sucks, man. Good time to watch some videos, watch some streams, get some podcasting, etc. in. But thank you for tuning in, man. JC, how's it gone today so far? We haven't got any trades yet. About to scope one out now, though. We're having a look. Getting close to fair value here, so I'm watching for a potential trade down here. Let's see if we can get one. Nice, Aaron. Nice. Up 50% on 5 accounts. Good stuff. Code CAMCAP. Obviously, thank you, my friend. When I get funded with them, is the intraday drawdown a pain or you never had trouble? I've never had trouble with it, Aaron. Again, I'm a scalper, right? So I'm taking 3-point trades and I'm not going into... Oh, Dan, 1 second, Dan. I just saw your super chat. 1 second. I'm going into... I take small trade. I take profit quickly, and I've not had trouble with intraday drawdown. Normally get past that threshold with no problem. So yeah, just take scalpers. Don't try and take big trades. Just take profit quickly or trail your stop loss really tight so it doesn't eat into your intraday. But it's easy to beat. Easy enough to beat. Now, Dan, thank you very much for the tip and the super chat. You say, could you explain the confluences to taking trades? Yes. So confluences for trades are, number one, you want a confluence from the developing profile. So this is the developing profile here. I want to use either a high volume node or a value level. But then in conjunction with that, I want to have them line up with the previous day value levels, previous week or overnight. Today, in a trending situation like this, when we're so far away from those levels, unfortunately, all we can use is the current session profile. So that's C-ranked setup if we get one here, because it's only using a single confluence from here. So a confluence from the current session profile would be a high volume node, any high volume node, right? And a high volume node is a good area to look at for potential support and resistance, or it would be point of control, or it would be a value area high or value area low, right? Value area high being a premium level, potential area to short, value area low being a discount level, potential area to long. Or if it breaks out, you use them just like classic support and resistance, right? So if this is resistance, the value high, if it breaks value high and then comes back to retest, then that is then now your support, along with other confluences, but that's the idea, right? So yeah, during the week, obviously not every day is going to be trending like this. Well, we hope not. And I'll be able to show you how I line them up with more than just the current session profile. Yeah, Mr. God's Battle, thank you very much for the super chat. A nice good hug. Thank you, friend. Thank you. Much appreciated. Where's Adam, by the way? Adam, did you get back to me on did you get to me on Instagram for the giveaway? Let's have a look. Adam, if you're in the chat, can you confirm your real name? I just want to make sure someone didn't just DM me with a different name saying they're you. So Adam, if you're in the chat, please let me know your real name and I'll just cross-reference it with this DM and then I'll send you the free account details after the stream. No worries, Dan. 2 minutes away from algo time, yes. Once we get this MOC kick in, we may see a potential good area to play here. So far, it has not pulled back very far. And it's just developing the volume. See how the volume nodes here now all kind of clustered around a similar strength? So this is just the whole area of volume here. We want to look at the standout, the ledges. Edges for ledges. Wave, not that I do mentorship, but I do have a volume profile course and then a community add-on at the end of that course. Just a small one, not charging high ticket prices or anything. Which time frame are you using? The previous volume from the whole day or just the high volume sessions? From 9:30 to 4, so main session, and then 6 p.m. through to 9:30 a.m. for the overnight. So just group it all into one. Jonah recently sold my family dog, ready to purchase some evals. Wish me luck. Good luck, my friend. And sayonara to Sally, the family dog. Yeah, shout out Tom Dante, yes. Edges for ledges. Balls deep, full port. Have you ever checked out Alpha FU? Are they any good? I've not heard of them, Aaron. Not heard of them before. Do you move prop firm profits to live account or always trade funded accounts? Yeah, Jonathan, I have a really good size live account. So I no longer put my prop firm payouts into my live account. But I just use prop firm payouts as absolutely spending money, splurge money. It can get expensive to have a wife which you love very much. And also I'm expensive too. I don't buy much things, but when I do, they're bloody expensive. So, all right. Kicking in, MOC, kicking in. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Dan, totally normal, man. You're only a year into trading. Absolutely normal. Part of the process. Part of the process. As long as you're recognizing and watching what's causing you to blow accounts or what's causing you to lose, try and learn, what is it? Is it going on tilt? Is it bad risk management? Is it maybe a strategy is not working? Figure out what's not working and try and fix that. Every week, just get a little bit better. Totally normal. Like I said, it took me a year and a half to get my first payout, but I wasn't actually consistently profitable for 4 years. I can't exactly remember, but it took a long time. MOC, market on close. It's the last 10 minutes of the regular trading hours session. You get a big bit of algo activity and big institutional traders closing their positions, which you get a lot of. As you can see on the DOM now, it's moving a lot quicker. Anyone opened with the time and sales right now is moving crazy as well. Yeah, Aaron, I've considered it before. To be honest, man, my investment strategy is very simple. I just throw it all into the S&P. I have a very small amount for speculative stocks, but it's all in the S&P. Back at value highs here. Still no good setups yet. All right, can we get a melt back to POC? That's what I'm looking for. Running short on time, but if we can melt back to POC, I'm looking around there. What price is that? 74775, 74775. Okay, it's way down. Had a lot of volume transacting around these highs here, of course. All-time highs. A lot of people trying to sell that. A lot of buyers buying it right back. You can see it all just thick across here. I'm inconsistent and undisciplined and starting to hate it a lot. Yeah, Dan, I mean, that's the point we got to consider, right? Is trading something you really enjoy? Is it something that you have a passion for, that long-term you want to see yourself doing this? If yes, then stick at it. If not, and you actually hate trading, then the best advice is to stop before it gets too deep. Because people who get into trading, for the potential money, the upside, which we all do, right? But then don't actually love the act of trading itself. It's a very tough journey. So just like take a deep introspection and just see, do you love the game? Do you love this? Do you love doing this? Is it enjoyable? Apart from losing at the moment, is it something you want to crack? If yes, then stick with it and fix those things that are causing you to be undisciplined. If no, then stop while you're ahead, because it can become a very long and dark path if you don't actually love this. And that's because it's a hard path, man. Trading is one of the hardest things you can do, and very hard on your emotional state. Yeah, okay, got you, Dan. There you go. Well, you know the answer there, man. So that's it. You got to really hone in on what's making you undisciplined and what's making you inconsistent. And it's most often going to be tilt, right? That's what I've found with most of us, right? Anyone who's a new trader, tilt's going to be the thing that kills you. So you got to figure out what is it. How can you stop yourself going on tilt? For me, that's setting hard stops for the day. Stop locking out, walking away when I hit a certain negative P&L, walking away, not looking at it again till tomorrow. And okay. Oh, we're putting in a lot of volume here. Good way to put it, Aaron. The trading learning curve is never linear. It's a negative curve with exponential results down the road. Yes, I can agree with that. It's not a straight upwards path. Like you don't just get consistent and profitable one day and just, it stays continually going up. It's a very, very up and down path. And you'll have moments of extreme profitability mixed with moments of flat, net flat. Yeah, nothing really here, guys. We've had nothing this whole session. There's been nothing here. I'm waiting for that pullback towards fair value. While it's still up here, there's nothing to trade here, right? There's hitting buy and saying, let's go higher. But, we're not purely gambling here. Thank you. Bongolan trades. Do I use less than 10 point stops on NQ? Bongo with NQ? No, not less than 10 points. Not less than on NQ. You're going to need a bit bigger stop than that. I'll be looking at 15 to 20 points on NQ. But yeah, I have not traded NQ for almost a year now. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, man, we've come a long ways. Thank you, my friends. No worries, Mike Canesian. I don't think we're getting anything here, boys and girls. It's just been a slow chop around the all-time highs, unfortunately. Yeah, man, we might have to just come back at this tomorrow. No trade's better than a loss, right? So we'll come back at the same time tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in. Adam, if you're in the chat, I'm going to message you on Instagram and just get some proof, because you had a different name on your Instagram than you did in the DM, so I just want to make sure it's not someone just trying to impersonate. But if you're here, Adam, please DM me on Instagram for your account giveaway. And tomorrow we'll be giving away more accounts, TPT and Apex. Same thing, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow we should certainly get some trades, because we will certainly, hopefully, not be at all-time highs again tomorrow afternoon. So tune in tomorrow, guys. Like the stream if you enjoyed this. If you want to get funded with Take Profit Trader, the link pinned in the chat will give you 40% off and no activation fee for life using code CAMCAP, CAMCAP. Or if you want to use Apex, I'm also using Apex, right? Get your 20 funded accounts, scale up, big payouts if you can crack it. It's a good opportunity. I'm currently working on that myself. Code CAMCAP, CAMCAP, will give you 80% off Apex and Take Profit Trader, code CAMCAP. Other than that, if you're interested in volume profile, My link in the description is in there for my volume profile trading course. Walks you through exactly how I trade volume profile, everything I know about volume profile, and also gives you optional add-on to the community as well at the end. So that is in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you guys same time tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.